Hey folks, every time the President of South Africa addresses the nation or there is a sitting of Parliament, he and his cabinet repeat the same promises of a non-racial, non-sexist South Africa where there will be a better life for all. But my serious question is, does the African National Congress actually want a non-racial South Africa? Because I have serious doubts about that. And I'm going to explain why in this video. Firstly, the African National Congress has deliberately made land ownership and the races of who exactly owns the land a main political issue for decades at this point. But if the ANC really wanted black landowners to prosper, and I'm thinking specifically of black farmers and agricultural workers, why, when the ANC took power, did it not make one of its first priorities to establish a world-class agricultural college to train its people to be the best farmers in the world? Something the ANC could easily have done is to bring in experts from both around South Africa and around the world to share their knowledge with up and coming black farmers in order to equip them to feed this nation. The ANC did not do that. Now we can move on to Eskom. Before the abolishment of apartheid, Eskom was known as a net power exporter throughout Africa. Yes, Eskom as it was then did not adequately cater to all South Africans because of the racial oppression of apartheid. But when the ANC was given power, it was left with a functional system of electricity generation. What it should have done was to simply continue to expand that system and that infrastructure in order to adequately meet the population growth of South Africa. The ANC did not do that. It allowed the system to continue to be overburdened and overstressed by letting more and more connections be added without adding to the capacity of power generation. That is why we had a period of over 15 years where load shedding, for those of you who don't know what load shedding is, that is the planned implementation of scheduled power cuts. We had that for over 15 years because it was the only alternative to a complete national blackout. Now we can look to education. If the ANC was really committed to making South Africa into a prosperous and more equal society, one of their primary priorities would have been to make South Africa's education, particularly our basic education, among the best in the world. What did they do instead? They actively lowered the standards required to pass in both primary and high school to the point now where you can get a passing grade by just achieving something as low as 30%. Now, I ask you, if you employed somebody to install your geyser, let's say, for example, you hire a plumber, and when that plumber was studying his trade, he got a pass mark of 30%. Would you trust that plumber to be able to adequately do the job? I don't think so. I state all of these examples because to me it seems very clear that despite what they say, The African National Congress is perfectly happy for the majority of its citizens who happen to be black to continue to suffer in poverty, hopelessness, and a life with no opportunities for self improvement, self reliance, or personal growth. I hope that this video of mine has been of some use to you. Look after yourselves, take care of each other, and for now, farewell.